Alrighty guys, I'm Morthadon and we are back for some more Boruto. We're on episode 56, guys. Pretty crazy stuff. And really fast, for those of you who haven't seen yet, I have a poll going for a new show to replace Reincarnated as a Slime. So if you guys want to vote for that, there's actually a video I made regarding it, so you can check that out. And the poll link will be in the description there, or you can just go to my Patreon, and you might have to scroll down a little bit, but it should be there. So you guys can check that out if you are interested in voting for what I watch next. Yeah, that's about it for that. But yeah, so last episode we got into some crazy stuff. We have like the setup for the tuning exams essentially happened last episode, which means the tuning exams could be starting this episode if they don't get interrupted. We had the Otutsuki people running into B and the Eight Tails, and seemingly the Eight Tails was absorbed, but we have yet to see what happened to B. But we obviously know when the chakra is taken out of someone, they die, but B has come up with some clever ways of escaping death before, so we'll see. I don't believe anything until I see, the dead body and preferably decapitated, and then I'm pretty sure at that point. But yeah, guys, they also mentioned that they know where Naruto is. They seemed pretty confident about it, so they should be getting there pretty soon unless they dilly-dally. So I don't even know if the tuning exams are going to start. I have my speculations on that. But yeah, it's going to be crazy. I'm wondering how all of this is going to go down. So I think without further ado, we should just jump into the episode and see what happens, shall we? Alrighty guys, so for you guys, there's going to be a link in the description. It's going to send you right to the reaction. Click that link, very easy, one click away, and you can watch me watch the episode. Yeah, that's not what I really wanted to say, but it came out okay. So once you're done watching that, you guys can head back to this YouTube video for the discussion portion. Okay, guys? So go ahead and click that link right now. Alrighty, guys, so that is the end of episode 56. So the tuning exams have begun. It was a good episode. It was very much an episode to introduce all the teams, and they got one phase out of the way really quickly, which was cool. They definitely sped up the first phase compared to Naruto series, where they had to survive in that forest for like 5 days or so. But that's fine. It was still that was kind of like, well, no, I guess the phase 1 of Naruto was, never mind. No. I'm stupid. Phase 1 was the written exam, right, of Naruto. And then they went to the forest, and then they had the one-on-one combat. So this was essentially instead of a written quiz, it was just that same kind of like trick question kind of thing where, just making a decision is important, which I thought that'd be the first part of that. I thought there might have been more people that were like so indecisive that they didn't answer, and maybe there were and we just didn't see any. But that was one of my first thoughts. Like, I think I said it during the episode, but I was like, just making a decision is the important part. Because, if you're a shinobi and you're on the run and you're not sure if you should go left or right, and, there's a 50-50 chance because you're, lost, you don't know your surroundings or whatever, indecision is gonna get you killed more than just whatever path you choose, most likely, So I thought that might have been part of it. So I'm surprised they didn't, have some people just not choose, but I guess, it seemed like everybody still picked, even if they didn't know the answer. They just went with it, and I was right about the pitfall thing. The only reason I kind of like saw that coming was because of the the white patch of ground underneath. That was like a perfect circle and everything. I figured that wouldn't be there. There wouldn't be any reason for that to really be there. So I figured it's probably gonna be a pitfall that and then they said, like, the people who turned black fail, and Sai was the one that said it, so I instantly thought ink when he said black, so. But that was cool, both sides. There was no right answer, essentially. The right answer was, do you have the quick thinking to save yourself, and move on? Where, Boruto actually didn't. He didn't exactly, like, admit defeat there, but he still kind of just, like, shut his eyes and didn't really, like, try anything, and didn't really realize it until Sarada realized. So it once again, it's the whole thing where I've talked about this whole series about how I think Boruto kind of needs to have the kind of needs to have, how do I want to say this? He needs people stronger than him, but in his same range, like his same age range for these, like, tuning exams where they're, all of somewhat similar age. And Boruto can see how much better a lot of these teams are than him, because he thinks of himself as the best, just no one acknowledges himself as that. And he's kind of starting to realize that he's not, he's getting himself into because he was always, like, top of the class in the academy, I'm pretty sure. So, he was in this small pond of fish, and he was the biggest fish. But now that, pond has expanded, there's so many more big fish in there now that he is compared to and everything. And he needs to try to make a name for himself, and he has it. It's almost like he has it in his mind that he has this thing on his wrist that he can use as a just in case kind of thing. But that just in case kind of thing isn't going to save him in every situation. Like an intellectual situation like this, where he needs to think, he, wasn't able to do anything. And I think part of the reason why he didn't have any thought is because he's like, oh, well, this wrist thing can't save me here, so I guess I lose. That might not be entirely what he was thinking, but there might be a part of him in the back of his mind that said that, just because he gets in that, he's in that shortcut mindset, and that kind of hinders your thought process occasionally. But yeah, man. So he's all bummed out about that, and the whole thing with Naruto sending an email wasn't bad. This, obviously I was upset at the whole Shadow Clone to the birthday, but I think an email is fine for something like this. That's the kind of thing that I do. Like if someone, I don't know, I don't know, like a real world example, but someone's like promoted at their job, they get like a promotion. I think it's fine to just text them or something and be like, hey, congrats on your promotion, even birthdays, me and my family, we sometimes just text each other and say, like, happy birthday and stuff. So, but, I guess father and son, when your son is that young, I think birthdays should be something where you get together, but anyways, regardless of all that, without getting into those conversations again, I think Naruto's decision was fine. It was sweet, although it's a little bit, if I'm gonna play devil's advocate to the other side, because I don't think Naruto's a terrible dad. I just think he sometimes makes the wrong choice, but we're all human. We all sometimes make the wrong choice. But to play the devil's advocate and go to the other side, if I'm gonna think of the thought process of someone who thinks that Naruto is a bad dad, there is the thought that Shikamaru had to tell Naruto to say something to his son. And even though Boruto doesn't know that, that's still, like, kind of stinks that it had to be Shikamaru. I guess we don't know that Naruto wouldn't have done it anyway, but, from what we've seen in Naruto, he probably would have forgot, and Shikamaru telling him to do it just helped him out, But he has a lot on his mind, so that was just me playing devil's advocate. That's not really like how I feel. I was just looking at it, from another standpoint. But anyways, it was really cool seeing all of the different teams from the different villages. Something that I didn't notice was those stone guys that tripped and got blown up. Did they? I don't really remember if they made it. Because just because they tripped and got blown up, it doesn't mean they didn't make it to the the next round of the phase, or however that's worded. I don't remember seeing them pass that. I don't remember seeing how they saved themselves if they were there. So I'm thinking they were disqualified, which is pretty crazy because they were. It kind of broke the mold a little bit because they were one of the ones that were focused on a bit. They gave them like a zoom in close up, and I figured all the teams that got a zoom in close up on towards the beginning of the episode were gonna make it to at least phase 2 and be like a bigger threat. So that's kind of interesting. And I could be wrong. Maybe I did miss it. Maybe they did make it. But I'll notice again when I edit this episode. I'll probably realize because I'll be taking it very slow through the episode while I'm editing it all and everything. But yeah, so we had no movement from the Otutsuki people, but this test happened very quick too. So that's just one thing that's always hard to tell in anime. Like, they knew where Naruto was, and they can teleport between dimensions and even, like, go into outer space, so you'd think they'd be able to make it to Naruto very quickly. But they want to show us this tuning exam stuff instead, so they're probably going to wait, until at the earliest round 2, but probably not even that. We might start to see some movement in planning while round 2 is going on. Or phase 2 or whatever it's called. But it might not actually get interrupted until round 3. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll make it through the whole tuning exams, and Boruto will throw us for a loop in Boruto as a show, not the actual character, and give us the whole tuning exams this time because it's so rare for that to happen. It seems to always get interrupted somehow. So who knows? But if they do that, I'd really be questioning what the Otutsuki people are doing because they seem like they were in a rush. They seem like they knew where Naruto was. So I don't know why they wouldn't be able to make it to Naruto before the tuning exams are over, especially since the next phase is in 3 days. So, it's not like it's all happening in one day and you can, like, just attribute it to, like, these things happening at the same time kind of thing, but who knows, I guess they never, well, never mind. I don't know what I was gonna try to say there. But, yeah. Is there more to talk about? That is the question. I don't know what the Cloud people have against Boruto's team in particular. Maybe it's just trying to create a kind of antagonist kind of team out there, and they don't want it to be the Sand Village this time, because, I feel like now, after all this time, the Sand and the Leaf have, like, a very strong connection. And yes, they're all allies right now, but I think the connection does still, hold out a little more strong for the Sand versus like the Stone and Mist and all that kind of stuff. They're not as close because Naruto and Gaara have such a past and everything. So I believe that just leads them to have only good words, because you can be allies with people and still talk crap about them behind their back. And so it's, and I know they're all trying to compete, because I'm sure only a select few will actually become Chunin, assuming that it, doesn't get interrupted, which in their eyes, they don't know. Well, I don't even know if it's going to get interrupted, but I'm just assuming it will. But they're obviously just trying to be rivals, but I've never understood the need to talk crap and try to like flaunt your egos around like they did at the restaurant and stuff like that, in order to like prove your strength. If you're gonna prove your strength, you should do it with results, not with you know, just trying to act tough and everything. But anyways, they are young and everything, so there's always that too. I have the blessing of being an old fart where I look at everything with more logical eyes, less emotional, more analytical and everything. So, uh, but yeah, I like how Sarada was like made her decision by asking Boruto what he thinks Sasuke would do, what he thinks her dad would do, and then Boruto's like, "Well, he doesn't seem very straightforward, so I think he'd pick false." And then Sarada's just like, "All right, well, if that's the case, then I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna pick a different path than my dad, and I'm gonna go, true." And it's just like such a weird way to decide, but I guess with a 50-50 chance where none of them know the answer and they're gonna pick something at random, you might as well just make up some kind of formula. I do that sometimes too, when it comes to RNG stuff. Sometimes I make up like the stupidest thing. Like sometimes I'll do something like, I guess if you're going through like a maze or something, sometimes like I'll always like choose if I come to a point where I have to choose like left or right, I'll tell myself I'll always choose left, even if it's only like a 50-50 chance. I'll always choose left. And I come up with like little rules like that for myself. So it's not very like impractical that she thought of that. It was just kind of funny. It's the typical kids, with the stick it to the parents kind of ideals. Boruto more than anybody else at this point, really. The whole just wanting to know his dad's weaknesses, wanting to, punch him in the face or whatever he's going on about these days. Just trying to find some kind of motivation in his life to get stronger, and it just so happens that he decided that he wanted to hit his dad as you know, as his motivation because he can't come up with anything else at the moment. And then Sarada is just like, well, my dad didn't end up being a Hokage, but his rival did, so I'll just do the opposite of him, and it's just very funny. I enjoy it. But yeah, guys, I'm very much looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in Phase 2, which I'm assuming will be next episode. They said 3 days, so we could have some filler stuff, but I have a feeling that now that this arc has kind of started, we're going to keep going, because usually they wait until after the arcs to do filler stuff. So hopefully, we're just getting right into Phase 2, maybe a little bit of like, interactions over the 3 days where they run into the teams here and there and stuff like that. But maybe some movement from the Otutsuki, possibly Gaara showing up with information about the Eight Tails. Maybe people will find B's body or something if he is dead, or B will show up with a warning kind of thing. Something like that may happen, as just to fill the interim, just to make it feel like 3 days have passed a little bit for us, rather than just skipping immediately to this point. But I also had the thought that I meant to talk about it before the episode started, but it didn't actually come up this episode anyway, so it doesn't matter. But if Shikaku was able to tell that the Eight Tails vanished, shouldn't Kurama be able to tell as well? And let Naruto know? Shouldn't they have that same kind of connection? Unless, Shikaku felt the presence disappear and thought that was concerning, and unless Kurama feels it and is just like, whatever, and doesn't say anything, but Kurama's essentially a good guy now, so I imagine he would say something to Naruto. So I wonder how all that works. So maybe Naruto does know at this point, or I don't know what Gaara's up to. I think Gaara said what he was doing last episode, but I'm not sure. But I know he said he was gonna. I'm pretty sure he said he was gonna be a little bit late, and we know that he hasn't. He didn't show up at least when all the Kages were meeting. Although Naruto wasn't there either, but you know Naruto is never anywhere. It's important. I'm just kidding. Sorry. um, but yeah. Anyways, uh, yeah. I don't know. That was just something I thought of and I meant to mention before I started the episode, but then when I got to talking about other stuff, I forgot to mention it. But yeah. Anyways, guys, I think that pretty much sums up everything I can think to talk about for this episode, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing what happens. I do hope we make it to round 3 before it gets interrupted, because I'd love to see if they do the one-on-one fights again. They might not, but I'd love to see a tournament arc sort of thing happen, because, you know, tournament arcs are always fun in these kinds of shows, and we all know how good Naruto's was when they did it, so I'd absolutely love to see it happen again, and see some awesome fights possibly go down, and people to really show their stuff, so... But it may not happen, or it might happen, who knows. But yeah, guys, I'm very much looking forward to it, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys want to support the channel, you can hit that subscribe button. You can also check the description for my Patreon, where you can get access to full-length episodes without any cuts or anything, or early access. So if you're watching this on YouTube right now and you want to see the next episode right now, if you become a patron, you can do that. And you're also supporting me in what I do. So it's very much appreciated for anybody that decides to do that. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.